The armed forces are the servants of the people. They do not need national policy. No struggle can ever succeed without women participating side by side with men. Unfortunately, we are victims of evil customs. Certainly, criticize fearlessly when a wrong thing is done. Failure is a word unknown to me. Protect those doing this.
कायद-ए-आज़म कंट्रोल रूम कसम खाता है कि आपके वन लाइनर्स साउंड बोर्ड को शॉर्ट सर्किट कर सकते हैं। क्या आप अब भी एक जुमले से महफिल को खामोश करते हैं?
Listen over. I have lived as plain Mr. Jinnah, and I hope to die as plain Mr. Jinnah. I am very much averse to any title or honors, and I will be more than happy if there was no prefix to my name.
Okay, Mr. Jinnah. Speaking of preferences, क्या आपने बरतानवी जजेस को कभी वक्त की पाबंदी के बारे में कुछ कहा था?
मैंने कहा, My lords, the difference between us is that I keep my appointments.
क्या आप समझते हैं कि सियासतदान कभी अपनी गलती मान सकते हैं?
Why can't they be honest and admit that they made a mistake? याद रखो, a donkey does not become an elephant because you call it an elephant.
Well said. Let's talk more about power. Citizens say decisions now march in jackboots. जब एक सिपाही सलूट करता है, तो हर्फ आखिर किसका होता है?
Listen carefully. The armed forces are the servants of the people. They do not need national policy. It is we, the civilians, who decide these issues, and it is their duty to carry out the task with which they are entrusted. Those days are gone when the country was ruled by bureaucracy or force. It is the people governing, responsible to the people on democratic lines and parliamentary practice.
But now religious strife is widespread. मजहब का मालिक कौन है?
कोई नहीं और मुमरितत तो हरगिज नहीं. आपका ताल्लुक किसी भी मजहब, जात या अकीदे से हो, मुमलिकत का इसे कोई सरोकार नहीं. Pakistan should not be a theocratic state. We have many non-Muslims, Hindus, Christians, Parsis, but they are all Pakistanis.
Women still face serious challenges just existing in Pakistan. Honor killings continue. What do you think?
No nation can ever be worthy of its existence that cannot take its villain along with its men. No struggle can ever succeed without women participating side by side with men. Unfortunately, we are victims of evil customs. It is a crime against humanity that our women are shut within the four walls of their houses as prisoners. There is no sanction anywhere for the deplorable condition in which our women have to live.
Youth face tear gas at protests. Students demand change. Any message?
Oh, my dear friend, at one time I was in a primary school as well, and the youth constitute the backbone of the state. They must mobilize their resources in a systemic and organized way and tackle the grave issues that confront us.
जर्नलिस्ट गायब हो जाते हैं और सिक्योरिटी कैमरास खंभों पर फूलों की तरह खिल रहे हैं. Where does vigilance become tyranny?
Grave political issues cannot be settled by the current of the knife or by gangsterism. There are parties and parties, but the difference between them cannot be resolved by attacks on party leaders, nor can the truth be altered by threats of violence. This is your government. It is quite different from the government I lived under for most of my life. Therefore, appreciate when a good thing is done. Certainly, criticize fearlessly when a wrong thing is done.
क्या ये वीडियो आपको अच्छी लग रही है? ऐसी मजीद वीडियोस के लिए अभी नुक्ता ऐप डाउनलोड करें.
पाकिस्तान की इकोनॉमिक पॉलिसी IMF बनाता है. सूद की अदायगी हमारा आधे से ज़्यादा बजट खा जाती है. You warned about this, right?
The economic system of the West has created almost insoluble problems for humanity. And to many of us, it appears that only a miracle can save it from disaster. In a state to justice between man and to eradicate friction from the international field. On the contrary, it was largely responsible for war and conflict across the world. The Western world is in a worse mess than ever before in history. The adoption of Western economic theory and practice will not help us in achieving our goal of creating a happy and contented people. We must work our destiny in our own way and present to the world an economic system based on the true Islamic concept of equality and social justice.
But Mr. Jinnah, luxury towers rise while flood water drowns the slums. Equality and social justice kidhar hai?
One of the biggest stresses from which Pakistan is suffering. I do not say that other countries are free from it, but I think our condition is much worse. Is bribery and corruption. That really is a poison. We must put that down with an iron hand. The next thing that strikes me is this. The evil of nepotism and jobbery. I want to make it quite clear that I shall never tolerate any kind of jobbery, nepotism, or any influence, directly or indirectly.
But the business elite seem allergic to social responsibility.
The exploitation of the masses has gone into their blood. Traders and merchants, in building up their own fortunes must not forget their social responsibility for a fair and square deal to one and all, big and small. It should not be our policy to make the rich richer. I am sure you will agree with me that if we are to achieve real freedom, it must be free and not for a few, but for all the inhabitants of this country, and that it is the primary duty of the government to work for the welfare of the masses.
लेकिन लोग उम्मीद खो रहे हैं. They see the same faces, the same lies, the same failures.
Failure is a word unknown to me. पाकिस्तान हासिल करने के लिए हमने बहुत कुर्बानी की है और हमें पाकिस्तान को कायम रखने के लिए और भी कुर्बानी करनी होगी, लेकिन मुसलमान मुसीबत ने घबराया नहीं करता. Do not be overwhelmed by the enormity of the task. There is many an example in history of nations building themselves up by sheer determination and force of character. You are made of sterling material and are second to none. Why should you also not succeed like many others, like your own forefathers? You are a nation whose history is replete with people of wonderful great character and heroism. Live up to your traditions and act to it another chapter of glory.
A few words on Palestine.
We are told that endeavors, earnest endeavors, are being made to meet the reasonable national demands of the Palestinians. Well, we cannot be satisfied by earnest endeavors, sincere endeavors, the best of endeavors. We want that the Western governments should in fact and actually meet the demands of the Arabs in Palestine.
Well, the microphone is surprisingly still intact. We feared these mics would crumble. They wobble, but survive. A final counsel for a restless republic?
I say, protect those journalists who are doing their duty and who are serving both the public and the government by criticizing the government freely, independently, and honestly.